Today I'm going to be making Asian food, and for the first couple of seconds, can you look and guess what I'm cooking from the ingredients here? I left out the one ingredient that will surely give it away, but got some carrots, got a cabbage, an onion, some garlic, and some shrimp, some breakfast sausage, and some hamburger. Chances are, if you have eaten Asian food, you probably have eaten it. I'm just going to show you my recipe. Okay, now it's time to shred the carrots and all the other vegetables. Now, what I normally use is just a plain four-sided cheese grater and just keep it spinning all day doing this, and it does a good job, right? But the hard part is getting the onions chopped, grated, and you can chop them by hand, but not me. I'm a generally lazy person, so I'm gonna cheat and use the conveniences of modern technology. Good old salad shooter, baby. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop these things in there, and it's just going to be a rough chop. I'm not trying to mince the onions because they're going to cook, and when they cook they'll reduce pretty well. So here we go. I only put about 1.25 onions in there, and that looks like a lot for what I'm doing, but once it sweats down it's going to be a lot less. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shred the carrots and the cabbage. Now, I have to admit I stopped using the salad shooter on the onions because it was really tearing them up too much and just getting a lot of the onion juice into the air and just killing me with the eyes. So let me do the cabbage next. That thing does a good job on the cabbage. It does makes a nice slaw. So if you ever just want to make coleslaw, salad shooter is probably a good way to go. Alright, let me finish with the cabbage. I'm done with the cabbage now. I'm going to switch over to this bit so I can do the carrots, and also I'm going to do the garlic that I had prepared earlier. So I'm going to throw the garlic and the carrots and shred them up using this blade. Okay, I'm going to finish up with the carrots. See how nice it does the carrots? You can spend hours and probably a couple of knuckles if you try to use this thing to do all the carrots. So let me finish up the carrots and the garlic, and I'll get back with you. As far as spices, there really aren't a whole lot that go into it. I'll probably put a tablespoon of salt. This is a 1/2 tablespoon, so I'll put a 1/2 tablespoon now. Mix it in real good. And what this does, it helps start the sweat process too. And what'll happen is when you set it overnight, the juices will fall to the bottom, and what you can do is just kind of roughly strain it out to get the juices out, because when you cook it, you don't want a lot of the juices in what you're cooking, because if you haven't guessed already, I'm not going to tell you yet, it kind of makes it a little messy. So you want it kind of dry, not desert dry or anything, but you don't want it as wet as it is now. So that's why I make it a day ahead. And I'll just throw some pepper on there. Alright, it hasn't even been about more than 30 minutes, but you can see the mixture has settled down quite a bit. And let me see if I can show you the juice here. You can see the juice coming out the bottom there. And I'm going to go ahead and strain that off. Even though it is quite flavorful, I don't want that much juice in my mix. So have you guys figured out what I'm making yet? Alright, just be patient. I'll be right back. Now that I've got most of the juice out of the veggies, and I've actually even packed it down with my hand, I've added 1 pound of hamburger meat, and I'm going to add 1 pound of breakfast sausage, just a regular, unless you want spicy or some other flavor. I just go for the regular flavor, no spices or anything. And I'm just going to mix that in by hand. So be prepared to get a little messy. Here's your first real hint at what I'm making here. It has to do with this. I usually put about 2 eggs in here. And by the way, you do want to keep your meat pretty cold because you're going to be stirring around. So this is probably right at about 50 degrees and it is quite cool. So your hands are probably going to get a little numb. Now if you want to do this in a mixer, that's fine. It's just going to be pretty coarse. And if you want to do it with a spoon, that's fine, but I just find that just sucking it up and doing it with your hand does a much better job and a lot faster, because what you want to do is after you get this all mixed up in here real good, you want to put it back in the fridge to keep the temperature low, to keep the bacteria growth down, so you don't make people sick. And I'm not doing anything fancy, I'm just kind of folding it over, bring it up from the bottom and pushing it down in the center. And you want to work fast, like I said, to keep the temperature low and so you can get back in the fridge. Okay, when I come back, I'm going to reveal my secret of what I'm making. Okay, you guys figure it out yet? Alright, I'll let you in on the secret here. How's that? Make an egg roll. Now there's 2 different, well, more than 2, but 2 main differences in egg roll wrappers. There's a really thin wrapper that you can get from Asian markets. I just got this from an American grocery store. And these are more like wonton type shells. And they're a pastry and they're kind of delicate. Now there's another one they're also called egg roll wrappers, but they're called, the other name is a lumpia. A lumpia is a Filipino egg roll, and it's more, I don't know, parchment type. It's a lot thinner, and so you might see that kind of egg roll too. But for convenience, I didn't want to drive all the way to the Asian market store. I just picked these up from my grocery store to have everything I pretty much need. So what you're going to need also is just a little bit of water. I forgot to add a little bit of water. So you got your egg roll wrapper, lay it on a diagonal, and you're going to get maybe a tablespoon, maybe 2 tablespoons of the meat mixture that you made, and put that in the middle. And when it seems like it's not enough, that's just the right amount. You don't need a whole lot, because if you try to put too much in there, you're not going to be able to wrap it and it won't stay closed. So I just make a little mound like that, fold up the middle, kind of push it back on itself, and then fold the corners in and roll it all the way up. Well, the oil is definitely hot enough. I put a drop of water in it and it splattered up. And if you really want to take the temperature of it, I would say anywhere between, say, 300 and 325 on the oil. And you don't want to plop them in. What I do is I just grab them with my tongs and just ease them in there and let them bubble up like that. And you want to wait till they get a crisp golden brown, because remember, you're dealing with raw meat. So you don't want to undercook them, and you don't want it too hot, because what's going to happen is they're going to crisp up on the outside, but they're not going to cook on the inside. So you just kind of have to watch it. All right, this one's almost done. See, it's a nice golden brown there. Take its temperature. All right, 160, the magic number. So try it. I go by color. You can go by temperature. You don't have to poke every one, but once you get a few that you figure out what the temperature is, you can go by the color. And let's see how they taste. I forgot to mention, one cool thing you can do is if you have extra egg roll wrapper, is you just slice strips in it. And I'm just doing this for speed, but you can do whatever shapes you want and then fry them up, and they'll be like little Crispies that you get at the Chinese restaurant. So then brown up. Kids like to eat them. Smells like a Chinese restaurant in here. Go around that. Gotta work quick though, because they brown up pretty quick. You don't want to burn them. Well, they're cool enough to eat now, and I'm gonna dip them in some some chili sauce and some Zashila habanero sauce. This stuff's pretty good. It's okay. It's got decent heat and okay flavor. Not thrilled about it, but it's good. Alright, cut this bad boy open. This is the first one I cooked. You can see it's a little dark. There you go. That's what it looks like. Just right. A little burnt, but you can't taste the burnt in it. Yeah, try it out. Have a crispy. Well, hope you had fun watching, and give it a shot, and maybe you can make a video response or something. Let me know how you like it. That's all I got. See you later.